and welcome to another edition of the Movie Kit podcast. I'm your host, Kit Bowen. We got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about two movies actually coming out this weekend. And joining me in this conversation is my very good friend, Joel Amos. Joel, how are you?
I am quite well. How are you?
Good. So the two movies we're going to talk about, first up is The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And then we'll also do a quick review of the horror comedy Abigail. But let's start us off with the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which Joel got a chance to see. So he will be reviewing this for us. Let me read the description here. The British military, I guess based on a true story, right?
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
The British military recruits a small group of highly skilled soldiers to strike against German forces behind enemy lines during World War II. It is directed by our very own Guy Ritchie, who we love
Mhm.
for the most part. It stars Henry Cavill, Alan Ritchson. That guy's all over the place now. Um,
Yes.
Alex Pettyfer, Eiza Gonzalez, Babs Ozolmakan from Star Trek Strange New Worlds, if anybody watches that. Carrie Ullis, Harry Golding, Hero Fiennes Tiffin, which I am taking as the son of Ray Fiennes,
Yes.
throwing it out there. Oh, also Roy Kinnear, who I love. He's a great British character actor. Freddie Fox just looks like a really stellar cast. So I'll let you start us off. What did you think of the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare?
I liked it. I didn't absolutely love it, but I did like it. It took a little while to get going. Which I guess in hindsight shouldn't be surprising. I mean, this is the establishing film of what could be a franchise, I think.
Mm,
Uh Basically, and I love Guy Ritchie, and I think Henry Cavill can do no wrong, except he was wronged as Superman. I think he was
really?
a great. I think he was a great Superman, but I don't think he was given the best material. Uh,
No, I think it wasn't necessarily his fault. No.
no, 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 not at all. So anyway, and this is fascinating because as a true story, I love anything with World War II. I love anything with Guy Ritchie, so on paper I should love this, but it just took a while to get going. But the thing is, in real life, they didn't really know what to do with these people, and they had special skills, and they were able to come in and out easily of places and do the jobs that no one else wants to do, and all that stuff. And Winston Churchill saw them and was just like basically made them the first like special forces.
I
Like
was
they
gonna
were
say
like
it's special black
like
ops, right?
well, yeah, like Navy SEALs, or like and they used intelligence, but they could operate within the boundaries of one's country, which intelligence agencies cannot, and they can operate overseas. So I can't fault it per se for taking a while to get going, because this is important stuff
Mhm.
to be established, in order for the ending to work, et cetera, et cetera. But that being said, I thought the cast was great. I thought they were so game. Cavill was amazing. Ritchson was incredible from Reacher. Uh, Alex Pettyfer, like he was in movie jail, remember, like for a while there.
Yep.
Uh, and he um, has been taking these, you know, pretty much thankless roles, probably about the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And put it this way, I went home and I was writing about it, and I was like, oh, that was Alex Pettyfer. Like he was so lost in this role that I didn't even know it was him. So
Right.
good for him, fighting your way back. And Eiza Gonzalez is in it, and man, I would watch her read the phone book. I really would. She's just plus she's just amazing.
Yes.
And then one quick thing, there is a bit of irony here. The, there's a character and there's a real life person, Ian Fleming, in this movie, and he was a military man in the intelligence world. and he would go
Right.
on to write the James Bond movies. Um, and the character that Henry Cavill plays
Yeah.
in real life is the person who inspired Ian Fleming to create James Bond. And Henry Cavill was up for the part of James Bond, and essentially he's playing a James Bond in this.
Right.
So even though he did not get the part of James Bond, and he would have been a great James
Yep.
Bond, he kind of got it here. So it was kind of fun, but not, if they get to do another one, I'm very much, it's one of these movies where I think the sequel might be better than the original, but the original had a lot to establish.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sometimes that happens. So you're thinking that hopefully it'll do well enough to see a sequel.
Yeah, yeah, my screening was packed, absolutely packed, and they don't clap for movies as much in Spokane as they do in Los Angeles, but there was the whole house was applauding at the end of this.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, I think the audiences are gonna like it. It's got a 93% audience score
There you go.
on Tomatoes, and 73, it's fresh
Yeah.
on Rotten Tomatoes. So I mean, and people like Guy Ritchie, so
Yeah.
uh
So this was just he just did the straight directing on this one, right? He
yeah.
didn't write it or anything. I just, just because I don't know if we've talked, did we talk about it? I'm not sure if we did, but The Gentleman, which is
Yes.
also Guy Ritchie's. He likes gentlemen in his titles. Um it's a Netflix series that he created and directed as well. Which I thought was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's funny about Guy Ritchie. I think he really is I really think he's got an amazing talent for like, crime dramas and crime things, and um that's a specialty, I feel like probably the reason why the warfare maybe not caught on quite as much is because, he didn't maybe create it from scratch, but um gentleman he did. And it is really, really well done and just compelling and absolutely worthy of a second season. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I thought it enhanced the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think you necessarily had to see the movie. Um, but you'll want to see the movie if you haven't seen the movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I had heard of it per se, but like I was kind of on Netflix and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, there's a whole season, Guy Ritchie, TV. Hello, 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 where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it was great. It was just great. And
Oh, I forgot there was a movie. The movie's not all that great though.
no, no, but the thing is, you realize if he had just kind of the format of long format television, there's probably a better way to tell that story.
So that's why he
uh,
probably said, you know what, let me get another crack at this.
yeah, and it is an extension of the movie, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like a continuation. I wouldn't call it a sequel, but like, and again, you don't have to see the movie, but you'll probably want to go back and see the movie
Yeah.
after seeing it. But yeah, yeah, well, the thing is, the Hugh Grant role really stood out for me in the movie.
Yes. 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 Totally. Totally. I just totally forgot about that. But yeah, no, the series itself would definitely played better because of the time it could take that he could take to really
Mhm.
flesh out those characters. So
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. Okay, I gotcha. So anyway, back to where Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. What rating would you give that?
3.5.
Oh,
I
okay.
go 3.5. And actually I would recommend seeing it in theaters because of the battle sequences are pretty incredible. The way that he's orchestrated them. I mean, he's always, Mr. Incredible with the action, whether it be a gunfight, knife fight, whatever. And there's a few of those. But when you're dealing with torpedoes and subs and U-boats and yeah, it takes it to a whole nother level, and I think that it's worth seeing it on the screen.
All right. Well, I'm probably gonna check it out for sure if I can. So we kind of split it up this weekend for between the two of
Mhm.
us. And I saw Abigail, which is a horror comedy thriller from the same people who did Ready or Not, which again, as we talked about earlier, is one of my kind of unexpected fun horror films to come out in the last few years. And this one sort of follows suits with that. Let me read the description here. After a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with not a normal little girl. That's putting it mildly. It stars Melissa Barrera, Dan Stevens, who do we love the most?
Yay.
Stevens.
Yay. Mr.
Um,
Stevens.
William Catlett, Kevin Durand, Kathryn Newton, Angus Cloud, who I think this might have been the last thing he did before he passed, that tragically passed. So he was from Euphoria. Interesting actor. Also, Giancarlo.
Wow.
Huh?
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
All right.
Giancarlo
Yes.
Esposito, and then Alisha Weir, who plays Abigail, the titular
There you
character
go.
of the film. Um, so yeah, so it was definitely follows suit with that kind of, over the top gore. Interesting surprises. Certainly the setup is a little like Ready or Not, as far as, being basically in one like mansion that has all kinds of little hidden secret passageways and just weird rooms and old stuff. And um the premise that these kind of top of their game people all come together to do this heist. I mean, you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit on all of that. I don't think they needed all of those people to do this, but clearly they had all worked together before, and so they were doing it again. Dan Stevens is sort of the ringleader of it. He plays like a former cop who's gotten into this. Is Frank is his character's name anyway. And then Joey's sort of the emotional core, played by Melissa Barrera. She's uh she's the one who's supposed to take a, kind of keep an eye out on this little girl. And yeah, it's little, I'm not giving anything away. It pretty much lays it out in the trailer. Little girl's a vampire. It's been around for a long time. And this was all set up in a trap and everything. And the twists to it were kind of fun on why they're all there and why, and the situation, that unfolds. It's all a lot. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. My only complaint to it was that the it just couldn't end. It was like it kind of kept going on, and I'm like, all right, so when's it actually going to end? Oh, we have one more little twist. Okay, I got it. Okay, so now it's going to end, and nope, got another tiny little twist. So there's a little bit of, for me anyway, a little bit of like, okay, let's get to the end of this. But yeah, over the top, exploding bodies and blood everywhere and creepiness, but definitely not scary at all. No, it's definitely got that comedic twist to it. So you're not, I mean, you might be horrified by some of all the gore, but other than that, it's a lot of fun. And this little girl was really good. She again, we've talked about creepy kids in horror movies, how they can be very effective, and she was quite good, because when she finally kind of sheds the little girl persona, she's fairly wise in her ways, let's just say that. But each one of the characters had a fun little quirk to them, and basically seeing them get all picked off one by one, or however they end up getting rid of, basically. um it's all fun to watch. So and then yeah, the big kind of little bigger twist at the end was, and his name's in the credits, but I don't want to give it away either. I when I mean credits, his name's on the IMDb page, but I still don't want to give it away. But he's kind of like the very last little twist thing. So yeah, no, I had fun with it. I don't think it's as good as Ready or Not. Um, that had a clearer narrative, in my opinion, than this did. Uh, This was just kind of all of a setup, kind of like a Agatha Christie meets, interview with a vampire type thing. So, it didn't have as clear a narrative as like Ready or Not did, but still very worthy and a lot of fun. I don't know if you necessarily would have to go out and see it. You could probably end up watching it on a streamer at some point in time and have just as much fun, but it is fun to see it on a big screen. I would give this also 3.5. Let me see what the rating is on Rotten Tomatoes. But yeah, I mean, for these kind of films, I thought this was a pretty worthy 83%. So again, a couple of good choices of movies this weekend. Just definitely had, and what's the audience score? Oh, there's no audience score yet. How is there an audience score on the Gentleman one, but not this one? Oh, because it just came out.
Well, they had extensive Thursday previews. Like I think Abigail showed, but like last night. But I think you could have gone to see Gentlemen, like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I think there were more, or the review embargo just came up today, or something like that. At that.
Actually, I kind of
Um,
like this critic consensus. It sort of kind of wraps it up pretty well. Carrying off well-worn vampire tropes with a balletic flourish, Abigail dances around the familiarity of its premise with a game cast and slick style.
well, I still say
Yep, I agree.
maybe at the Publicist Awards, that might be the right arena, but they should give best tagline. Like I know they do best campaign, blah blah blah, but the tagline for this movie, it just nails it. They're like, they kidnapped the wrong kid. Like I say that out loud, and Bella, it's just like, ooh,
Ooh. Yeah, they sure do, man.
yeah,
Kathryn Newton's character at one point says, a ballerina vampire. Now I've seen everything.
yeah.
So yeah, no, it is. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, I think of these ilk films, it's definitely up on the list there for me, for sure. So yeah, so that should do it for us. I'm trying to think. Well, I haven't finished it yet, but at some point, if you haven't watched it, we can review Fallout, which
Okay.
is the newest sort of post-apocalyptic new series on Amazon Prime. Has a great cast. I think it based probably based on a
Video game.
oh, it's based on a video game. I was gonna say video game or a graphic novel. It's one of those two. Um,
That video.
Video game, yeah. So if you get a chance to watch it, maybe we'll be able to kind of give you guys a quick review on that. Also, FYI, if you guys ever watched the original, like the OG true crime docuseries on HBO called The Jinx,
Yes.
which I really feel like that kind of started it all off. That and that podcast, the
Yeah.
what's the name of
Podcasts.
the
Um, DJ.
serial
Yeah, yeah.
about Adnan and that whole murder mystery thing. Yeah. Those two things really got me down my crooked, weird path of crime dramas or crime documentaries. But the Jinx Part 2 is coming up on HBO, and I'm really
Yes.
looking forward to it. It's about Robert Durst, the millionaire who was basically finally convicted of all these horrific things that he did, including murder.
Murder.
Murder. You messed with the wrong millionaire.
Yep.
So if we get a chance to do that, that's another one we'll probably end up reviewing pretty soon. And then next week we have, as far as movies,
Challengers.
oh, is that next week?
Yes, indeed.
Ah,
And
Challengers. Because I know they were
I'll
training for that recently and I didn't go to it. So now I get to go see it.
uh, I'll watch them die in anything.
Yes,
So
yes. That is the big one. That's the big one. Oh, also Kill Boy Kills World. Maybe we
yes,
decided.
with with the youngest of the Skarsgårds.
Yes. getting his little due because he's always going to be known as Pennywise, the
Yeah.
horrible, demented clown in It. Now he gets to uh now he gets to play something a little different.
Boy, Boy Fights World. Is that what it's called?
Boy Kills World.
Oh, it's still even better. Um, yeah, that was a teaser before the movie last night. That played really well.
Yeah, it
Um,
teased on my too. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
But they're like from the producer of It, starring Skarsgård, and I'm like, let the guy like form his own lane. Like,
Well,
don't
I'm
keep.
just saying that's what he's got to get out of that. He's got to break out of it.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway,
Well, he kind of did have that cool part in John Wick 4.
yes,
So I thought that was a nice little turn for him, but yeah. Yeah.
we'll see.
And I think is this based on a video game or a graphic novel?
I think graphic novel. So we got one of each. Oh,
Oh, it's a short film. It was a short film.
ah,
Yes. So Moritz Moore and Arend Remmers did the short film. And so Moritz Moore, Matt Moore, I think that's how you say his last name. He's directing this. So kind of a newbie to the whole deal. But yeah, no, that looks good. So we'll try to get both of those done. So we got Challengers and Boy Hills World. Thank you, Joel, of course, for joining me on a very great conversation. And 2 thumbs up from both of us, and both films coming out this weekend. So you have your choice. Got World War II or Ballerina Vampires. You choose.
yeah,
Or go
yeah,
see them both. One
yeah.
day, the next day, the next. So
And then come home and watch Ripley.
and then go home and watch. Oh, were we going to talk about Ripley, or did we already talk about it?
Yeah, no, we haven't yet, but we can do
Okay,
that next
sorry
week if you
guys.
want.
Well, real quick, we have to talk about this.
Okay,
Okay. Wow.
it's
So
astounding.
so good. It's on
And
Netflix. It's
uh, be
basically I'll
warned.
just go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please.
I was
Intro.
just gonna set it up. Patricia Highsmith's novel called I think it's called The Talented Mr. Ripley. I'm not sure what
Yes.
the book is. Yeah. Of course, we know about the movie with Matt Damon and Jude Law that came out early 2000s, but this was a redo of that basically, starring Andrew Scott. And yeah, I was pretty mesmerized through the whole thing. It's shot in black and white, very
Yeah.
stylistic, very stylistic. And Scott does something that Matt Damon, he does a whole different take on Ripley than Matt Damon's Ripley. Because Matt Damon's Ripley was kind of, you know, sort of he happen chances upon this stuff, and he's kind of sort of cringy, and he is kind of a leech, and but Ripley but Andrew Scott plays him very much from the get-go,
Mm,
fairly calculating in a way. What do you think?
oh, they're very different characterizations. I think
Yes.
both are fantastic. I think both
Yes.
interpret the material perfectly. But given the longer you're with these people for almost 10 hours, like I gotta this incarnation to me is much more haunting, much more chilling, scary, more scary. I mean,
Yes. Creepy.
he the 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 metamorphosis, and then there's like a second metamorphosis that is so creepily smoothly handled. It's frightening.
Yeah.
Like, and especially back in those days, like you could totally do it, and like oh my goodness, the last shot of the whole thing will just haunt you, like just
Haunt you.
haunt you. You'd just be like, no, oh, oh man. I gotta say, I was just blown away by everyone involved. And the choice to do it in black and white, I, I don't mind black and white. I'm fine with it, but I loved it in
Yes.
black and white.
Yeah, it
And
needed. It was absolutely perfect for this
yeah,
for this retelling of that. Yeah.
and then the again having the time with the long series. the ability to like just show like the establishing shots of Italy, like they've just added so much to
I,
it.
I know.
And I never would have thought so. Like, yeah, we're in Italy, I get it, but like I wanted more.
Yeah. Yeah. And also because I mean I really do love the original, the
Yeah.
Matt Damon film. And so, the characterizations are all so different in this. And that's what I
Mhm.
appreciated about it. It was like literally watching the same story but told completely differently.
Yeah.
Down to Dakota Fanning playing Marge, and she's not the bubbly, pretty Gwyneth
But
Paltrow Marge,
no.
the distrusting, serious Marge. And then the guy who played Dickie, I
Mhm.
wasn't familiar with him. I don't know how much he's done, but you know, again, he's played much more, measured. Johnny Flynn has played him. He's more measured and steadier than the sort of flamboyant Jude Law, cute, very charismatic kind of character that he plays. So yeah, all of it. And then I really wanted to call out Elliot Sumner, who is the son of Sting and uh what's her name?
Trudy
Trudy,
Styler.
thank you. Yeah. Trudy Styler. Um, so sort of non-binary type, character that I should say that they play Freddie Miles as opposed to the Philip Seymour Hoffman's Freddie Miles. I don't know, all of it. It's just really, real. And this was definitely more of a murder, like a mystery kind of. And,
Hmm.
and the this still ends up being the same too, basically, in a way. You don't have that whole side story like in the first one where Ripley meets the young man and ends up going off with him to be happy kind of thing, and it not being happy in the end. But still Ripley gets away with it. And yeah, like you said, the ending of this one was just spot on. So 5 major stars for me for this one.
Yeah. Five neon glowing stars that you can see in space.
And Andrew Scott's so hot right now. I mean, as far as his career and all the things that he's doing, and as his sort of breakout roles of the hot priest in Fleabag. I mean, I know he did a lot of stuff before that, but I think a lot of people remember him from that. But he's quite the actor, and I'm looking forward to all the stuff he ends
Well,
up.
he's so disarming.
I know.
Like,
Isn't he?
like that I don't think Matt Damon was. Like he's just like, oh, hey, hey, hey. Hi,
Yeah,
oh, just
that's what I'm saying. So Matt Damon
uh,
playing cringy,
like
cringy.
he's like, I'm a fish out of water.
Yeah,
You know, and like he owned it. Like meanwhile, he knew exactly what he was doing.
yeah. Did he though? I don't know. I feel like
Uh
the way Matt played him, he wasn't. But this one, he knew exactly what he was.
no, no, that's what I meant. This
Yeah,
one.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And I just the whole time I was like, of all the people his father had to look up.
I know. It's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway,
Good
so
stuff. Good stuff.
if that doesn't make you want to go see it, I don't know what
I
would.
actually, I actually had to watch Todd and Mr. Ripley all over again just because I just wanted to get that juxtaposition again and loved it all over again. So both of them are just very worthy
I'll
of the
do that.
story.
I have to do that. I actually rewatched the last episode because
Oh,
I wanted to see it again.
also, just one last thing to point out in this. I thought for me, it was excruciating to watch him cover up the two things that the two murders he ends
Hmm.
up doing. I mean, it took forever for him to get.
Hmm.
I thought, wow, this is interesting to watch because you're literally on edge the whole time. Him going, and then like with Freddie, it's like, did I? Oh, nope, I forgot something. He goes all the way back out to go, go back to the.
Oh,
I
and
just all of it was.
like he's
Oh,
leaving the apartment and he just
yes,
like looks to the right and he sees blood on the painting. He's like, oh, there's blood on the painting. Well, I guess I better
gotta wipe
clean that
that
up.
up. Yeah,
Better clean it. Okay.
yep. And
Yeah.
then that
What are
cat,
you gonna do?
big character too.
Oh, that cat knew everything.
So yeah,
Cats know everything.
definitely watch it, guys. Definitely watch
Yeah.
Ripley on Netflix. You will not regret it. All right, Joel.
No.
Now I am gonna let you go. Thank you,
All right.
Joel. Thanks,
Adios,
everyone.
amigos.
We'll
All
be
right.
back next week with some more stuff. So tune in then. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.